One thing that your parents never tell you about when it comes to being an adult is how each and every one of us are going to deal with the consequences and actions of every single decision we make in our life. It's a very heavy toll to have on your shoulders, especially when you don't know how to make those decisions that are part of being an adult. Those decisions could look like your finances. What do they look like now? What will they look like 5, 10, 20 years from now? What you put in your mouth and how you exercise, how you really fulfill the parts of your body that help you to have that longevity, and thinking not only for the immediate moment, but also what is your body going to look like? What's it going to feel like? How is it going to function 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? All of that stems from making a decision today. The type of decisions that have you being accountable and responsible for yourself. You can't put it off on another person. You can't put it off on your family. At the end of the day, everything that you do begins and ends with you. It revolves around you. That, my friends, is such a big weight to have on your shoulders, especially when you don't know how to make those big decisions. You don't know how to break down a challenge. This video is all about recognizing how to be the best adult possible, how to look at your life in such a way that helps you recognize that every single decision you make has an impact, a ripple effect on what your life will look like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years down the line. It's a little scary and it's a little overwhelming, but the faster that you lean into recognizing, regardless of whether it's scary or not, I am fully responsible for every single decision and consequence that happens in my life, it helps you lean into going, I am responsible. So let me be more thoughtful. Let me be more intentional. Let me look at my life in a way that I recognize this is my life. My life is a culmination of every single decision that I make. Every consequence that arrives from not dealing with the situation and dealing with the symptoms, or dealing with the situations and having the outcomes plus or minus 10% come to fruition exactly the way that you planned for. And this is the beautiful thing about being an adult. You're in complete control of how do you always get yourself from where you are in this moment of life to where you want to go. So let's lean into it. There are 8 different parts of life, like your management of your life. It's your relationship, it's your work environment, it's your spiritual aspects, right? It's called the wheel of life. It has to do with physical activity, it has to do with your hobbies, it has to do with wealth management, it has to do with food and nutrition, it has to do with how you engage with your family, and how, most importantly, you are responsible and culpable for yourself. This is what the wheel of life teaches you. And it helps you, it's like a little blueprint to help you recognize what are the important things in your life. Are you working on these things actively or passively? And in the longevity that is your marvelous and beautiful life, where are you on the scale of these 8 things that are a culmination of the wheel of life? What I always tell my clients is to break down each one individually, because you can't work on everything at the same time. For example, when you're looking at the health of your mind, your body, and your spirit, spiritually, you pray to God if that's what you like. There's meditation. There's all kind of things. You can read the Bible. You can read the Torah. You can read the Buddhist templates. Whatever it is that is part of your spiritual practice. Part of having that spiritual practice helps you become grounded and centered within yourself. It helps you acknowledge who you are and what is it that you want in life. And it gives you that kind of peace, that intrinsic place within yourself that helps you be confident and helps you be still within yourself. From there, you have your body, right? Your body holds your spirit, your soul, it carries you around. If you're not happy with your body, it's very easy to fix that. You look at your body and you recognize, what is it about my body that I don't like? Am I feeding my body the things that it needs in order to be, have vitality and be strong? And if you're not doing that, then it's all about looking at what you're eating, changing the habits, and going, okay, it took me a couple of months to get here, and now I recognize that what I put into my body affects my spirit, it affects my mind, it affects the longevity of what I want to do and produce in this life. So let me become intentional about what I feed myself and what I do for myself. This week, it's all about the top 16 ways in which to be a better adult. And part of being a better adult is recognizing what are the responsibilities of myself and being an adult, which is part of that wheel of life, right? Your finances. If your finances aren't in check, then it's about stopping and looking at your finances and going, what exactly is it about my finances that isn't working for me? Is it something that it's improved within 2 months, 5 months, 8 months, 10 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Then that's okay. So you look at where you want to be. What is the objective? Do you want to make $60,000 a year? Do you want to make $1 million a year? Do you want to make $10 million a year? Then it's just about breaking it down. What is it that you're doing for a living? Are you happy? If you're not happy with what you're doing for a living, then you get an education or you start looking at other options that actually allow you to be able to fulfill these aspects of your life that help you in being able to garner more wages. If you're a waiter and you want to be the maitre d', what are the steps you need to take in order to fulfill that? If you are a trader and you want to go into private equity, what are the steps that you need to take in order to get you from being a trader on the floor to going into private equity? If you are working a 9-to-5 and you want to be an entrepreneur, what does it take to be an entrepreneur? What idea do you want to cultivate? Is there a market for it? It's just about breaking down what is it that you want to do and taking the small, consistent, disciplined, committed steps that are always going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. So as you go out into this marvelous, beautiful life that is yours, recognizing that as an adult, you are in complete control over what happens to you. There's a narrative that I teach my clients, and it's about the victim narrative, and it's about an empowerment dynamic. There are 6 characters in which you can play. There's the victim, there's the rescuer, and there's the persecutor. Or you can play the creator, the challenger, and the coach. It's a great book by, I believe his name is David Emerald, and it's called The Empowerment Dynamic. It's a fantastic book that if you have a tendency of going into a victim narrative, which is woe is me, I'm never going to do anything, it's always somebody else's fault, darling, it's time to wake up and put on your big girl panties and your big boy underwear, because as an adult, you are in complete control over what happens over your life. And if you don't have the skill sets to be able to pivot and change what goes on in your life, then it's just about learning the skill. If you want to be a marathoner, you don't start running 20 miles the first day. It's incremental. You start off by mapping out what a month looks like. You do short runs and you do long runs. For the first 3 or 4 weeks, you do 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, and then you start with 1 mile, and then the next day you do 1 mile, then the third day you rest, and the fourth day you do 2 miles, and then you do 2 miles again, and then you rest. Then the second week you start off with 2 miles, and then you do 3 miles, and then you do 2 miles, and then you do 4 miles. It's very incremental. It's these small little calculated steps that allow you to get to your end result. Everything in your life starts with a little plan. I want 1, 2, 3, and in order for me to achieve 1, 2, 3, the task for me to execute are A, B, C. And every single time you complete a task, it allows you to look at the plan that you have for yourself and gauge, where am I on this and how much do I measure to be able to get to where I want to go. Every single aspect of your life is this, from dating to marriage to work to children to your spiritual balance to your wealth to what you consume into your body every day. Every aspect of your life is completely under your control, and it's something that weighs heavily. I trust that as you move forward in your week, that you're able to kind of break down the chunks of your life and recognize what's working for you and what isn't working for you. Recognizing that the only way that you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be is by taking a step back and looking at the big picture and recognizing, I'm 28 years old. By the time I retire, I want to have this kind of money in the bank. I want to have this kind of money in my investments. I want to have this house. I want to live in this area. Breaking down all 5 of those steps. I want to make this kind of money. You have to have money before you can actually invest. Then, what home are you going to live? What are the price points? All these things are calculated, and they take a little bit of planning. So if it's looking at investing 20, 30 years, for, what your big picture is, you start off right now with $100 a month. You put it into a savings, $100 a month. And then once you get $1,000, then you put it into an investment account and you let it grow. And that allows you to have that income developing while you're making your money. And then you start looking at every single month, just putting in $100. Every single month, you start putting $100. And what you'll notice over the next 2 or 5 years, you will accumulated quite a bit of money. And it accrues interest. And then you have compounding interest. It's a beautiful thing. But once you learn about it, it helps you understand that you are in so much more control over what happens in your life than what you think. So break down the chunks of your life that aren't working for you, and then just recognize, this is where I am right now. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make it better. But now that I'm at this stage in my life, I know exactly how to do it. So it's either having a mentor, it's Googling or doing the YouTube over the information, or reading the kind of books that you need in order to help you break down the chunks of your life that you want to improve on and always get you from where you are to where you want to be. Every Thursday I drop a brand new video, and it's about the wheel of life. It's about life and relationships and what's going to make you the best human being. You can contact me either writing in the comments below, or you can always find me at my website, vanessaleecurley.com, or you can email me at hello@vanessaleecurley.com if you want to ask a question, or if you want a topic that you want to be able to break down and discuss on this channel. Everything we do here is about life mastery, and I trust that the information that you're getting is helping you and you're applying it, and allows you to be the best version of yourself. I trust that you enjoy the information. Have a good week, and I'll see you in the next one.